You want to know how fast a peaceful life can turn into a war zone? I'll tell you, it's exactly as long as it takes for a woman in a white polo and a dead smile to come strolling up your driveway, clipboard in hand, thinking she owns the whole damn county. That's how it started for me. 12 acres of wild Colorado foothills, no neighbors, no rules, just me, my barn, my trucks, and a flag snapping in the wind. You know, the kind of quiet that feels like it could heal just about anything. That's what I was after. I'd spent 15 years tearing through the mess of internal affairs, chasing bad cops, paperwork stacked higher than the Rockies, and by the time I signed the deed, all I wanted was to disappear, to lay low, to let the silence do its job. But peace has a way of attracting trouble, especially the kind that wears expensive perfume and a grin that says, "I know better." First time I met her, let's just call her Karen, she walks right past the no trespassing signs like they're invitations, heels crunching on my gravel like she's in line at Starbucks, not walking onto a stranger's land. "Hi there. You must be the new owner," she chirps, hand outstretched logo on her shirt, eyes scanning my property like she's appraising it for resale. "I'm Karen Dritten Hawk Ridge, HOA president. Welcome to the neighborhood." I tell her straight up. "Not in your HOA, not interested, but thanks." Her smile doesn't even flicker. "Oh, I know, just want to keep things looking, cohesive. People expect a certain standard." I glance over at my old F-250 dented and dusty tools laid out by the barn tarps, drying on the line, the flag flying proud. "This isn't your jurisdiction. You can check the county records." She laughs all sugary and says, "I'm sure you've got it all figured out." Next morning, HOA letter in my mailbox, beige, paper eagle crest, more passive aggression than a Thanksgiving dinner with in-laws, asking me to reconsider my flagpole park, the trucks out of sight, cover up the tools, all for community standards. I reply with copies of my deed zoning map and a little highlighted note. "Not your land, not your problem. Certified mail return receipt." You'd think that would be the end, but if you've ever dealt with an HOA president on a mission, you know better. That was just her opening shot. Didn't take long before strangers started cruising slow past my gate windows, tinted clipboards visible. The next letter was second notice, red ink threatening, and with it some real stalker energy. Grainy photos of my property, zoomed-in shots of my barn, my grill, even my mailbox. Somebody had been using a telephoto lens from across the property line. That's when I started scanning every letter, keeping a folder labeled Harassment Phase 1. Sent another round of paperwork to the HOA, the county clerk, and just for fun, filed a record request to confirm again I wasn't under HOA rule. Paper trails, that's the game. Couple days later, black SUV parked near my tree line. No one just stops there. I check my trail cams. Same vehicle engine running, no front plates, just lurking. So I upgrade the security, more cameras, IR sensors, cloud backups. Let's see how Karen likes being watched for a change. Then the county health inspector shows up. Anonymous tip about code violations, hazardous waste, you name it. I give him coffee, walk him around, show off my oil disposal drums and gravel filtration beds, everything up to code. By the end, he's embarrassed, muttering about one HOA queen with too much time on her hands. Didn't even have to say her name. That's when the letters start getting creative. Legal Compliance Committee, Beautification Board, whatever new committee Karen invented that week, all threatening me with county action if I don't tidy up, move my trucks, plant some petunias. I file a harassment complaint with the county, copy the sheriff, and set up alerts in case anyone tries to redraw my property lines. But Karen, she's relentless. I spot her Lexus more than once, always watching sometimes with company, a nervous-looking woman at the cafe, a white Honda idling near my eastern fence line. Binoculars glinting in the morning sun. I see her posture, that same damn bobcat scanning my land like she's on a recon mission. You know what really got me the night I caught her on my trail cam sneaking through the north tree line phone out inside my fence? I could have confronted her, but why waste the advantage? Instead, I install more cameras, dual IR and AI motion sensors, full cloud backup. I start a log times dates. Every letter, every visitor, every suspicious car. She wanted a war of paperwork. She picked the wrong ex-cop. Things escalated from weird to criminal real quick. One night, my secondary gate camera glitches out, then comes back on with a weird lag. Turns out two masked guys tried to erase the evidence. Didn't know I had a backup system recording them scaling the fence carrying a duffel bag. The next morning, I find that bag, red paint, hunting knife, punctured tire valves, even vandalized lawn chair cushions. My trucks have flat tires, barn doors scratched up, security mailbox zip-tied shut. That's it. I turn it all over to the sheriff, every bit of it. Deputy looks at my files and asks if I used to be law enforcement. Something like that, I say. Now, if you're thinking this was some kind of neighborhood spat, think again. Karen forges a work order, sends a contractor with a bulldozer to my driveway claiming she has HOA rights to restore my land. Only problem: she used the wrong parcel number, wrong client name, even forged her own signature. I flash my badge, still have reserve commission, and call the sheriff for active trespassing and document fraud. The contractor just sits on the track, shocked, realizes he's been set up. Deputy seizes the equipment, collects my evidence. Later, I get screenshots leaked from the HOA's private chat, dealing with the Milton problem, red lines drawn around my property. Targeted reacquisition zone scribbled in Karen's handwriting. She's not just overstepping, she's planning something. That's when I go public. Editorial in the local paper, nothing inflammatory, just facts, how a rogue HOA can threaten private property. I don't mention names, but the whole county knows. Response is immediate. Some apologize, some thank me, some just want to keep their heads down. But Karen, she loses it. Files bogus environmental complaints, accuses me of stockpiling chemicals, running illegal machinery. Joke's on her, I used to consult for the commission she reported me to. Her claims get tossed out, but now she's desperate. It gets serious one night when my whole property blacks out, not a flicker or surge, but a clean surgical kill. Generator won't start. Backup power is dead. But my solar-fed camera system, isolated, encrypted, is still running. I watch two guys in black move across my land, dumping oil or paint on my barn, slicing tires, caught on camera. Their getaway car, Karen's Lexus, face clear as day in the moonlight. Now I call in my old contacts at District Criminal Investigations, not just the sheriff. By noon, the evidence is with the DA. Karen thinks she can bury me with bureaucracy, but she's just put herself in federal crosshairs. I get a call from the DOJ Public Integrity Division. They show up with the sheriff badge on the belt, asking for everything. I give them footage, letters, emails, leaked, HOA chat logs, you name it. One agent shakes his head, muttering, "She really said visual aggression." Yeah, that happened. Karen, not knowing when to quit, calls a press conference, accusing me on local TV of threatening the neighborhood, brandishing weapons, hostile displays of militia behavior. I watch while sharpening a chisel, then email the real evidence to the U.S. Attorney's Office. The very next day, Karen's house is raided. Feds find drone surveillance files, detailed plans to force me out, a binder labeled non-compliant resident strategy, even a shot of me working in my own shop, taken through the window. They cuff her on the spot in front of the HOA office, local news, rolling banner behind her, half-hung, restoring our peaceful community. I watched that clip twice, once for justice, once for laughs. From there, it's a landslide. Charges stack up: unlawful surveillance, conspiracy, forgery, harassment, misuse of HOA funds. Board members start resigning. One brings me lemon bars and a letter confessing Karen pressured them into signing blank forms, paying for drones, all of it. The judge puts the HOA under court supervision, appoints a third-party auditor, subpoenas records. At trial, Karen sits pale and shriveled, no signature blouse, just a court jumpsuit and a whole lot of regret. Her lawyer tries to call her a misunderstood patriot. My turn on the stand. I keep it simple footage, timestamps her own notes, the whole rotten saga. Jury doesn't take long. Guilty. Civil court follows, restitution, nearly $500,000 in damages, legal fees, and repair costs. But that's not the point. What matters is what comes next. The HOA is gutted, run by a court-appointed ex-judge. Karen's old office turned into a broom closet. She gets 12 years in a federal prison, banned from any leadership position for 20. Her pension's under review. Community starts to heal slowly. BBQs by the barn, no speeches, just food, and a promise no one with a clipboard is welcome unless they bring beer and leave the attitude at home. 6 months out, my land is mine again. The flag flies higher, the barn's repainted. The air smells like pine and fresh starts. Some neighbors stay nervous, some become friends. Even the local paper gives me a nod, justice served cold in Hawk Ridge. Sometimes folks still drive by slow and curious, but I don't mind. I keep the cameras, keep the files, not out of fear, just habit. One afternoon, a kid shows up, toolbox in hand, asking if I need help with the cedar boards. If you drop one, you're doing push-ups. He grins, says, deal. And right there, I realize I didn't win because I fought harder, or had a badge or a lawyer I won, because I watched, documented, stayed calm, and let the truth do the work. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. You bring rot into the open, it falls apart on its own. Now I fix, I teach, I build, and when the wind's right and the flag cracks loud, I sip my coffee and think they really thought I was just some stubborn old man with a truck and a barn. Guess that was their last mistake. So let me ask you, what would you have done in my shoes? Ever tangled with an HOA or stood up when no one else would? Drop your stories below. I want to hear how you define justice. And hey, if you enjoyed this saga, share your thoughts, share your experience, and remember, sometimes the best revenge is simply refusing to be pushed off your own land.